Thanks to me, yes, I am on the couch, and there's a question about who will join the likes of Joanne Strauss, Karishni Naika, Basitsana Kumalo, Tamron Green to wear the crown of Miss SA. Well, we'll have to let the tale unfold as 16 finalists take on the challenge to become the next Miss South Africa. The pageant has gone a change, not only in its idea of national diversity, but also its sponsorship. And in a little bit later on, Caesar will be speaking to two of this year's finalists, and we'll meet them in a moment. But joining me on the couch is Miss SA Creative Director Paul Lisechang, representing the LFP Group, Sean Swigers, as well as Ndabiseng Pushoko, who joined us this morning. Thank you very much for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
So when we say the Miss SA pageant has gone through a change, what do we mean? What kind of change?
The organization operates in sort of three areas. One is pageantry, the other is fashion and beauty, I would say, and the third area is in eventing. That's sort of the scope of the work. And so in pageantry, what we have done this year, the top 16 has been announced, and it's the most diverse top 16 we've seen in the history of the pageant. And so we are busy in that particular area trying to understand, trying to redefine what beauty is to us as South Africans and Africans. So there's major change in that particular area. In the fashion and beauty area, this year will be the first year that contemporary African fashion gets onto the stage of Miss South Africa. So a lineup, which we will announce probably today or tomorrow, of fashion designers in the show is the best of the best that we have in the country. And then in the area of the eventing, we've basically brought together pageantry, fashion, and this year we've added music. We have a lineup of 5 or 6 performances of the country's best artists. I think actually all of them have won Salmas this year. So as an experience on the 9th of August, we think we're going to have an incredible event. And we'll be crowning the nation's queen this year for sure on Women's Day.
Okay. So, I mean, in terms of, when you speak about diversity, what does that mean? Does it represent kind of the length and breadth of what South Africa looks like? Because I think the fashion industry, certainly you see it in the commitment made by houses like Louis Vuitton, Tennessee, the fashion and beauty industry has long been criticized for only representing one kind of ideal of beauty. So when the pageant then says this is the most diverse it's ever been, what does that mean? What does that look like?
So it's in a number of areas. An area that's been a big talking point this year is the issue around plus-size models, as an example. So the question is, when we faced with the entrants who identify themselves as plus-size models, and they walked in and they said, I work in the plus-size industry, I feel like I need to be represented on this platform. And this year we have 2 of those ladies in the pageant. When we talk about LGBT community, we have a young lady from Cape Town who's from that community and proudly from that community this year, and so forth and so on. So it's not just whether it's color or black or white, it's culture. It is we have interest groups from religion. We have so it's a complete 360 overall look at what does beauty look like to us as South Africans, and what do we take to the world. How do we take that to the world when we go to Miss World or Miss Universe? A complete rethink of that this year.
And so for the contestants, if this is, doing something different, what does it mean for them participating this year? What is the experience for them? Is there a difference in kind of what they will go through in the pageant itself? Obviously for the viewer, for the people at home, there will be something different. Is there a different experience, and what is it for the contestants this year?
Look, I think the first area for the experience was the judging process. The judging process this year was cutthroat. It went deep into the night sometimes. I think the latest was 1 o'clock in the morning. So it was a rigorous process, and it prepared the girls tremendously for what they're ready for. But 2 things we're looking for them to excel at. One, a complete understanding of what is their duty to this country and to the people of this country. And specifically, what do we require for them, from them to be an activist for women in this year? So those 2 things are going to be 2 of the major changes that we're looking for the girls to experience and to articulate this year in the pageant. But change is not easy. And it's been a difficult process. And lucky for us, when we started this year, We looked at who we can approach to help us to fund it, to sponsor it, because we lost a big sponsor last year. And we LFP put up their hands. They are agents of transformation, and literally we sat down with them and we looked at what does the pageant look like, where are the areas that we can do, what can we do to change it, and how can we facilitate and move people through that change. And so really happy to have LFP on board to help us through that. Hopefully the change is good. Hopefully the change will make a lot of people happy this year, and hopefully the show would be an incredible show that we all can be proud of. Thanks to partners like LFP and Sun International and so forth, who really, in this tough year, have come up to help. And we
sorry, because we're going to run out of time. But for you, your involvement as LFP, why is this so important to get involved in this pageant, and especially in this particular year where the pageant also looks to do things differently?
Okay, if we look into women at large in South Africa, we realize they are not empowered enough, where we are lacking to have role models for the up-and-coming young generation. These days, the youth of today have decided to look into different things that can give them the oomph to go forward and become whoever they want to be. But then as LFP, we feel that women need to be transformed generally, not only in the boardroom, but outside as well, to represent the country at large. It's not necessarily the person as the own person for themselves, but it's this person who's going to carry the whole South Africa in their broad shoulders, representing every woman in the country. And that's why we felt that empowering the young queen that is going to be crowned as Miss SA is important for us, because there's a person who's going to carry the generation forward. There's a person who is carrying the previous generation and bringing them into the future, because we are here to bridge the gap between the past, the present, and the future.
I just want to hold it there because I do know there's a second part to this conversation. Caesar is going to be speaking to two of this year's top 16. Of course, they were announced a few weeks ago, along with the host, Bonang Matiba, being the host for this year. And of course, we'd love to hear from you, your thoughts on the Miss South Africa pageant. Tweet us at 4-5 Mornings. You can also send us a WhatsApp message. And don't forget the hashtag Breaking Dawn on 405.